Hello, everyone. I have an important question for you, and I need you to listen very carefully. With the current amount of money you have in your bank account, can you truly tell me that you're living the lifestyle you can afford? I'll leave you with that thought. I am Tolulope Bukola Ige, a PR expert, a life coach who have trained well over 500 people. I'm also the MD of Andromeda Homes Limited, a real estate investment company, and I think I have the capacity to give you this insightful message. So stay with me. In today's society, we find out that people are financially reckless these days. So many people are living beyond their means. They are doing things out of facade, trying to project a lifestyle that they cannot afford. And I could say that maybe perhaps social media has played a major role on the influences. Even the Gen Zs, the Gen X, and even the millennials, they are all guilty of this pattern of lifestyle. So this brings us to today's topic, where we'll be looking at how we can have financial sustainability. So let me quickly paint a quick picture. By virtue of what we do, we see a lot of things, but I'd like to say this. Imagine you having a young guy or a young lady who's a fresher from the university, coming out as a fresher. He or she is looking for an apartment in the highball area of Ikoyi, Banana Island. In fact, even you could mention the Atlantic city. And we're looking at rents in this capacity of in between the capacity of 15 to 20 million, not to talk about also the service charges that will come along with it. I dare say this is the road. You're leading yourself already into the road of financial bankruptcy. Because if you ask me, the person who wants to live in those kind of apartments should, tell me how much they have in their bank accounts. Now, as a fresh graduate, what can you be doing that would make you afford such, magnanimous spending on rents? I dare say to you that when you're living in a certain house, there are certain expectations from your neighbors and even from people who know you. If you live in Banana Island, or you live in Ikoyi, or you live in an eyebrow area, we expect for you to drive a certain kind of car. I won't be expecting to see a Toyota Corolla. I'll be expecting to see a machine, an automobile. That's what I'll be expecting or looking forward to see. Now, with this kind of lifestyle that people are living and then pushing the narratives on social media, you see people feeling that, oh, they're left of themselves if they're not living that kind of lifestyle. And people are going above the top, trying to do all sorts of things just to live a certain kind of lifestyle. I want to assure you, for those of you who are not doing that, do not be bothered. Do not be perturbed, because if you live that lifestyle, I can assure you that is on your way straight to financial bankruptcy, which is what we're trying to work against. Remember, again, we have been talking about the topic of financial sustainability. So you need to know the kind of lifestyle you want to live. You need to learn how to, manage yourself and how to plan your finances. Otherwise, like I told you earlier, you're going down. And we don't want that for you. So this is why we are here. So in the next slide, I'm going to share with you a ratio of how you should spend your money so that you can have a better plan for your future. Well, growing up and working early in life, I had a friend who's an accountant, and I tried to engage him because every time you see them, they don't look the part. Sometimes they are the top echelon management staff, but still they try to be very conservative. They look conservative. They look as if they don't match the position they are being given. But when I asked him, I said, why do you live like this? He said, Tolu, there are certain principles you need to understand about managing your income. And this is what brings me to the structure and model I'm going to share to you, which is 50, 30, and 20. Now, when we look at the 50, we are talking about after earnings. You earn your salary, 50%, out of the first 50%, 30 to 35 maximum should be used for your house rent. Now, the remaining 20 or 15 can be used on your transportation to the job and your feeding. Now you have 30 that has been set aside. This could be for your personal needs, like maybe your body cream, your wardrobe. And then of course, I believe that some of us have dependents. You have relatives and friends that you need to, assist one way or the other. So you want to do all of those for them. Then of course, again, some of us also aspire for growth and advancement in our workplace. So we go for certain certification. So out of that 30%, we can, get a little something and be working towards or paying on installment for a particular certification, which we'll be going to just to get an advancement. Because for every certification we bring to our job, it means that they can look at us and give us a pay raise. Now, the last 20 should always be set aside for keeps. This is how you make something out of your life. So many people keep saying that, oh, I have plans. When they ask the question, what is your plan for the next 1 or 2 years? You find out that people don't even have a plan. They don't even know where to start from because they don't have a plan. They don't have a management skill. They don't have the ability to do anything. And that is why most of them are financially unstable. They cannot sustain their finances. And this is why some of them today, they have money, they are balling today, and tomorrow they are running into their room to hide their face because they have mismanaged the fundings that they have. Now, when you follow this model, it helps you on how to manage your finances. It helps you to curtail your excesses because you know that whatever you do, if you keep this money, that's money, 20% of your earnings can appear small, but it will help you a long way. Now, let's take a more vivid example. For instance, if you earn 2.4 million naira in a year, so for 2.4 million naira in a year means you're earning like 200,000 monthly. Remember that when the 200,000 is going to be paid to you, it's going to be less tax. So you'll probably be earning like 10% of it will be like maybe 180 is coming to you. And when you look at the calculation of the entire annual salary, it is 2.4. So when we take about 10% out of it, you have less than 2.2 million. So if you are to rent a house, for instance, if I were you, you don't have any business renting any house that is beyond 600 to 700. Because if you are going beyond there, taking a house of 1.5, you're already killing yourself. 1.5 is well over 60 to 70% of your earnings. So tell me, how then will you make up money for your own upkeep personally? How then will you be able to, transport yourself to work, feed yourself, and maybe do some other things? And what then will be remaining for you to save? That is what we're trying to tell you. So you have to be financially responsible. Do not be carried away with social media brouhaha or facade. It's all a facade. It's all a fake life. So you need to be accountable if you want to be sustainable, if you want to live a sustainable lifestyle. Now, I know so many of you have given a lot to educate your children, and so many of you are trying to make sure that your children get a certain kind of lifestyle. There are some of you who are, even the older generation, who are living beyond your means, which has been a norm. You understand? We need to really change that attitude. We have a lot of parents sending children to schools that they cannot truly afford. Anytime they want to pay school fees, you are having to run around friends and families or even acquaintances or workers alike to borrow you money so you can pay school fees. Why do you have to put yourself through all of that? Some of you want to send your children abroad. This is why we've been encouraging investment. Remember from the beginning of this video, when I introduced myself, I told you I'm the MD of Andromeda Homes Limited. And what we do is to make you a land owner, to make your investment grow. Do you know that you can actually start small? When you give birth to your children, you can start from that small age and start buying properties in their name. Because you already have a plan for them. You already know you want them to go to Harvard, you want them to go to Oxford University, or you want them to go to the best universities or the best, secondary schools. When you buy properties, before the next 15 years or 10 years, those properties would have increased. You would have been talking about 2,000% returns on investment. By the time you are trading such properties, you do not need to be running helter-skelter to look for money. We need to be financially responsible. I know that we as parents, we want to give our children the best. We want to also feel among that my children are able to move within their peers on an equal platter. But all these things require plans. So you need to plan yourself so that you can be financially stable. You can have financial sustainability. It is not all properties that we expect you to buy for immediate use. You can buy for for returns on investment, for future use. I know that some of you will say, oh, some of the properties that are selling is in Ekpe, is in Ibejuleki. I can't live there right now. But I'm telling you that you can invest in properties that will be useful to you in the future for your financial need. For instance, banks are now putting out offers. They are trying to meet a certain figure for their banks. They want to recapitalize. I've seen Jitco, I have seen other banks coming out saying that they want to sell. These are things that they are doing. So those of you who have money, invest in shares as well. When you invest in these things metamorphoses. As the bank is going bigger, your shares also is going bigger, and you earn dividends. This is what we are telling you. We are talking about returns on your investment. This is how you stay financially relevant, and this is how you fight against financial insustainability. Thank you. I believe I've been able to earn the privilege of your time. I remain Tolulope Bukola Ige, the MD of Andromeda Homes Limited. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.